Ronald Araujo. I have shown my desire to stay with Barcelona. Ronald Araujo, the Barcelona player, spoke about the renewal of his contract with the Catalan club and what he aims to achieve in the upcoming period. Araujo's name had been strongly linked with a move to Juventus before his contract with Barcelona was renewed, ending the speculation about his future. Araujo said, in comments published by the Spanish newspaper Mundo Deportivo, "I was very calm. I've always had a clear idea of what I wanted. I'm happy with the way things went, with the renewal." He added, "I have always shown how important it is for me to be here. I will always give my life for this club, and I am happy to stay here for many more years, and this is reflected in the years of my new contract." He continued, "We've done a great job collectively, and now I feel appreciated, and that's the important thing. I've always been clear about staying. I'm important to this team, and I'm happy to stay for many years." He concluded his comments, "I'm fine, and I'm happy to be back and with the team after a long time." When does Ronald Araujo's contract with Barcelona end? Araujo is tied to Barcelona with a contract extended until the summer of 2031, after he renewed his contract with the Blaugrana last January. Hansi Flick comments on Real Madrid's statement and refereeing complaints. A different approach and divergent views. Real Madrid's statement regarding the refereeing errors in their recent match against Espanyol has sparked widespread debate in sports circles, prompting Hansi Flick, Barcelona's coach, to provide a detailed comment on the issue that has occupied the Spanish public's attention. Although Flick tried to maintain a diplomatic tone, his remarks revealed a clear difference in approach between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Flick explains his stance on Real Madrid's complaints. When asked about his opinion on the statement issued by Real Madrid, Hansi Flick appeared cautious at first, but soon expanded on his personal philosophy and Barcelona's approach. He said, "Madrid's complaints? Of course, they are free to express their dissatisfaction in whatever way they see fit, but that's not how we handle things. Personally, I believe focusing on refereeing doesn't bring positive results in the long term." Flick added, "We've faced similar situations in many matches, some of which were decisive, but at Barcelona we prefer to direct our energy towards analyzing our performance on the field, rather than engaging in endless disputes about referee decisions." I wouldn't have done it this way. In another part of his statement, Flick clarified that his personal stance would be completely different if he were in Real Madrid's position. "To be honest, if I were coaching another team and faced what happened with Real Madrid, I wouldn't have issued a statement like that. I might talk about it briefly in a press conference and express my opinion, but turning it into a major media issue is something I wouldn't support." Flick pointed out that this approach might be part of Real Madrid's culture and how they deal with crises. "I understand that Real Madrid has a different philosophy when it comes to handling difficult situations, and that's their right. There may be strong reasons driving them to do so, whether to protect the team or apply pressure on referees in the future, but at Barcelona we try to build an environment of calm and focus, focusing on performance development, rather than refereeing." Flick noted that his team has also experienced difficult moments regarding refereeing decisions, but emphasized that the club has always chosen not to be drawn into off-field battles. "We have many examples. In some matches, we deserved clear penalties or were subjected to harsh decisions, but we always go back to the dressing room and analyze what we can improve. If you focus too much on refereeing, you lose control of what's happening on the field. Refereeing is part of the game." Flick continued by stating that refereeing mistakes are part of football and cannot be completely eliminated, regardless of the technology used, such as VAR. "We have to accept that refereeing will never be perfect. Even with VAR, there will still be controversial decisions. The important thing is how you handle these situations and use them as motivation to work harder." He confirmed that referees are human and prone to mistakes, just like players or coaches. A referee might make a mistake at a certain moment, just like a striker might miss an easy chance, or like I might make a mistake in choosing the right lineup. We need to look at the bigger picture instead of magnifying one mistake. The psychological consequences of continuous complaints. In his analysis of the psychological impact of repeated complaints about refereeing, Flick warned that excessive focus on these matters could negatively affect the player's mentality. When you get used to justifying losses or negative results by referring to refereeing, you plant the idea in players' minds that they are always victims, which could lead to a drop in their performance. At Barcelona, we want players who take responsibility and look for solutions instead of making excuses. Indirect praise for Barcelona's school of thought. Although he did not explicitly mention it, it was clear that Flick wanted to highlight the fundamental difference between Barcelona's and Real Madrid's approaches to handling tough situations. Barcelona has always been a club focused on developing talent and adhering to an attacking philosophy based on creativity and teamwork. These principles also reflect in how we handle crises. We believe that any problem we face can be solved through hard work and careful analysis, not through media pressure. A message to the fans. Flick concluded his statement by addressing Barcelona's fans. I know that fans might sometimes feel angry when we see refereeing decisions go against us, but I ask them to trust us. We are working hard to ensure we are stronger on the field, and the best way to respond to any mistake is to achieve victories, not look for excuses. Barcelona presents two options to Frenkie de Jong until the summer. There has been uncertainty surrounding the future of Dutch player Frenkie de Jong with Barcelona in recent times, whether he will stay or leave. Reports confirmed that Barcelona has set a clear strategy for Frenkie de Jong, either renewing his contract, which expires in 2026, or looking for an offer in the upcoming summer transfer market. Barcelona puts pressure on de Jong to extend or leave. The board believes they cannot afford to let the Dutch player enter the final year of his contract without guarantees of continuity, making his case a priority in the coming months. At the same time, Saudi Arabian clubs are closely monitoring the situation, with teams already interested in making an offer if the midfielder does not extend his contract with the club. With the winter market closing, Barcelona's sporting director Deco turned the focus to pending contract renewals. While the club has secured the continuity of some key players, there is still a need to address the futures of players facing uncertain scenarios. In addition to de Jong, the list includes Iñaki Peña, Andreas Christensen, Pablo Torre, Eric Garcia, and Hector Fert. The goal is to prevent any of them from entering the final year of their contract without a clear decision, except for the veterans Inigo Martinez and Robert Lewandowski, whose contracts do not carry the same urgency. De Jong's case is particularly complicated due to his high salary. The club had previously made a renewal offer, which the player did not respond to, and now the intention is to negotiate an extension with a reduction in his terms. However, the midfielder's prominence waned after an injury kept him off the pitch for several months, leading to him losing his place to Marc Casado. If there is no progress on his continuity, Barcelona will push for his sale in the summer. However, the player does not seem convinced to leave the club, which could create tension in the latter part of the season. Barcelona is preparing for a tough match against Valencia tomorrow Thursday at the Mestalla Stadium in the Copa del Rey. Barcelona competes with Chelsea and City for the signing of Premier League star. Barcelona is preparing for a strong competition with Manchester City and Chelsea to sign one of the Premier League stars during the upcoming summer transfer window. According to the Catalan newspaper Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona is keen on signing Daniel Muñoz, the right-back of Crystal Palace. Daniel Muñoz, 28 years old, has been impressive with Crystal Palace this season, contributing to several goals. Despite European interest, Muñoz doesn't seem to be in a rush to decide his future, as he prefers to wait until the summer to assess his options. The player is under contract with Crystal Palace until 2027, with a market value of approximately 25 million euros. Muñoz has dreamed for years of wearing Barcelona's shirt, having previously expressed his love for the club and his admiration for legends like